Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It has been so long since I've uploaded anything, let alone recorded. Basically loads of horrible stuff has happened in my personal life, and obviously I started my new job. I had to take a week off starting my new job. Like after my first week I then took a week off, which was obviously not great, but they were very understanding. Anyway, so that's just how my life has been. And I had actually recorded my first week as an assistant psychologist, kind of vlog type thing, and I wanted to upload that, but it is a lot of footage, and so I thought I'd record something now that's shorter and easier for me to upload and kind of explain where I've been a little bit. I'm not going to go into details, it's really not my story to share, but yeah, it wasn't great, and just support and prayers would be appreciated, to be honest. Anyway, also thank you so much for getting me to 100 subscribers. It's crazy to me to think that 100 people have clicked the subscribe button, and I know 100 isn't a lot of subscribers in the grand scheme of YouTube, but I never even thought about the numbers when I started making these videos. It was more just my desire to help people, and so it just, to me, that 100 means I'm actually helping people and that people appreciate what I'm putting out. So I'm just so grateful for getting that kind of positive feedback, to be honest. I just hope that I can continue to give good information through this channel. Anyway, let's get into this video. As you can see from the title, I'm going to talk about how to be reflective, and this to me I think is a key skill in getting an assistant psychologist job. As soon as I did this, I got the job. So in my first interview, my feedback was you need to be reflective. Second interview, same feedback, you need to be reflective. And so I figured I need to learn how to be reflective. And so I kind of saw it as this like formula. If I be reflective, then I'll probably get the job, because when it came to the scoring system, apparently I was scoring quite highly, but just not high enough. I think it was like I was getting 2s rather than 3s, and to get that 3 you need to be reflective. And so I learned how to be reflective. By no means is this like best way to be reflective or the only way to be reflective. This is just the way that worked for me, and I'm literally just going to share with you the models that I found online and talk through them and then give an example. So I know people might say, oh no, that's not how you're reflective, that's so kind of like basic. Well, basic got me the job, so I'm just going to explain to you what I did, and hopefully that can help you guys. I've got the models up on my computer because obviously I don't know them off by heart, and then I'll kind of talk about how I applied them in order to improve my interview answers. So when I was typing in Google like how to be reflective, what came up were 2 main models. One of them was Driscoll's model, which is the what, so what, now what model. The other model was Gibbs's reflective cycle. They're both very similar, and I'm going to talk briefly about them both. So no, I'm not actually going to talk about them both anymore. I cut the second model out because I didn't actually use it that much for my preparation, so I thought there was no point in me talking about it in this video. So let's start off with Driscoll's model. Like I said, the model is what, so what, now what. So, I need to stop saying so in this video because it's going to get very confusing. Anyway, the what is literally what happened. Explain the situation, the context, the people who were there, just storytell, essentially. The so what means like, what did I feel? What did I learn? Were your feelings different to anyone else in the situation? Did you feel challenged? If so, why or what? And did you feel kind of emotionally troubled, I guess? Like, just, I was going to say just reflect, but just think about the experience. So you've told the story and you just need to think, okay, like how did I feel about that? What did I learn? Could I have done better maybe? What things did I do well? And then the now what, basically implications for the future. So because I felt this way, or because I felt challenged in this way, or because I did this bad or well, in the future I'm going to do it this way or continue to do it this way. That's literally it. So you're telling the story, which is the what, then you're going on about what that situation kind of brought up in your feelings, in your kind of perception of yourself maybe and how you deal with things, if you found anything challenging. And then the now what is kind of like, now what are you going to do from that situation? Are you going to do it in a different way or better? So that was a really good model, and I hope I explained it well. Okay, so just a recap of that model in a more succinct way. The what part is the storytelling and just explaining the situation, the context, who was there, what was happening, what you did, kind of thing. So what is, so what were you feeling? What did you feel challenged by? What did you do well? What didn't you do well? Kind of just analyse the situation. Now what is basically, now what are you going to do? From that experience, are you going to do anything different, or are you going to do something similar? And why, really? So when you explain that bit, you kind of say, I'm going to do this bit similar because it went well, or I'm going to do something different because it didn't go well. So in preparation for my interviews, for being reflective, I basically thought, okay, what do I need to do? So I learned about these models, and then after that I kind of just wanted to have a formula which I could follow in my interview when I answered the question. See, before the interview, when I was preparing, I went through the job specification and the person specification and kind of thought about situations for each point. And I've spoken about this in previous videos, but say for example it was about sharing sensitive information with service users and family members or something like that. And so for that one I would think about it with this model in mind so that I'd be prepared for the interview. So I'd think about the situation, so obviously that's the what, and then I'd think about the so what, and then I'd think about the now what. And literally annotating on the job spec or the person spec, and I think that is what did it, and that's why I got my job. Say for example the person spec has dealt with challenging behaviour before. But say if the question was something like, tell us about a time when you've had to deal with challenging behaviour. You should be reflective in that answer. To answer that question reflectively, I would say something like, in my job role as an ABA tutor, I had to deal with challenging behaviour quite frequently. There was a situation one time where the client that I worked with had a behaviour in the shower, and this was because it was too hot in the room, and that's one of her triggers. And so it escalated very quickly, and we followed the whole behaviour plan support as best as we could to put her in the restraint as quick as possible at this point, because she was being violent towards others and also trying to harm herself by eating things that weren't edible. And so we put her in the hold, and I was with a more experienced member of staff, and so I did let her take the lead. And yeah, we put the individual in the hold and removed her from the bathroom and stuck to the behaviour plan. In that situation I was feeling very panicked. We have never been trained to restrain someone in water before, because obviously we were trying to help her have a shower, so it was very tricky, very slippery as you can imagine, and so it was a lot of panic. It did feel quite stressful, to be honest, even though we have to deal with challenging behaviour of that kind all the time. I was panic on the inside but didn't show it. I managed to do what I needed to do, which was to put her in the restraint. However, so I think I did really well in this situation. However, I think we could have prevented it by just double checking the temperature of the individual, because even though the water wasn't too hot, she does overheat very quickly, even though to another person it does feel cold in the room. So we should have probably checked that more frequently, and I have really learnt from that experience to, if there is a trigger, to constantly be checking that trigger and whether it's become a risk again. And so in future situations I will be doing that, and not just stop doing a risk assessment once I've done it, but to always keep doing that continuously. And I also think in the future I will kind of ask manual handling trainers a bit more about different situations and really make use of training, just so that I'm prepared for all situations. Because if I was to ask the trainer who taught us restraint what to do in a situation where the person is wet and slippery, then maybe I would have been more prepared. And so I think from this situation I have learned that personally I can deal with a lot of pressure and perform well under stress, but that in terms of risk assessment I do need to be more aware of risks that are kind of continuously happening. And so I hope that kind of example has given you a better idea of how these models work in real life and in an interview situation. So yes, I'm going to leave it there for today with how to be reflective, and I hope that I've explained it well. I'm going to try and put some annotations in and stuff like that if I can figure out how to do that and if I have time. I've got an email address down below now linked for this, especially for this YouTube channel, so some people have emailed me. I've had a couple of emails just asking advice, and I'm happy to do that because I know YouTube comments are quite hard to kind of keep track of. I know I don't go onto them that often, and so that's probably the best place. I'm not saying don't comment, please comment, because I love chatting to you guys down there, but if you want a longer answer from me or you want to explain a personal situation, then email me. Please do like this video if you liked it, and subscribe, because as you can see it makes me so happy. I really do hope to get some more videos up more consistently, but like I said guys, my personal life is pretty crazy right now, and obviously I've just started my new job which I love, and I'm gonna try and get the first week as an assistant up as soon as I can. But thank you for bearing with me. Again, thank you so much for giving me 100 subscribers, and until next time guys, I'll see you later.